Today, we're talking about Xbox. What will it take for me to buy an Xbox? Xbox in 2025 is not the Xbox I and many others, trust me, grew up with in the early 2000s. From that fat ass Duke controller with the cool ass black and white buttons to LAN connectivity, Xbox Live, the ability to rip CDs and add custom music to your games, Xbox Live Arcade, to Xbox Connect, arguably the nail in the coffin, Xbox Snap, Xbox dual screen mechanic nobody used and arguably also held the Xbox back graphically, and now Game Pass. I like Game Pass. The console is just in an entirely different space right now, and sure, PlayStation also looks a bit different, than it did in the past, but it seems like a more natural evolution with the focus on making quality games. Minus the games and the service push, we're not talking about that. Xbox's investments into those innovations that had zero games to really back those innovations has really forced Xbox into this inevitable failure of their console. And before I go any further, honestly, I kind of want to just showcase the difference between OG and now. I want to randomly start just naming off bangers. So for the OG Xbox, we got Halo, Halo 2, Fusion Frenzy, Kung Fu Chaos, Dead or Alive 3, Fable, GTA, specifically 3. I know it's not a console exclusive, but just having the ability to add your custom soundtrack was just so fire back in the day. And the graphics was better. Ninja Gaiden freaking Black, Burnout 3, Splinter Cell, Jet Set Radio Future, Star Wars KOTOR, KOTOR 2, Blinks. Oh my gosh, I kind of want to go back to Star Wars. Yo, BioWare was freaking cooking, bro. I don't know who they are today, but back then, those guys were in the kitchen. And let's get to the Xbox 360. Halo freaking 3. Halo ODST. ODST. Halo Reach. Gears of War, bro. OG Gears of War, bro. And all three of them pretty much, bro. All three released on the 360. There's only three of them, I promise. Fable 2 and Fable 3, Blue Dragon. Fun fact, did you know Half-Life 2 released on the OG Xbox prior to 360's Orange Box version? Also, the Orange Box, Lost Odyssey, Crackdown, State of Decay, back when Walking Dead was fire, Forza, Mass Effect. It originally released on the 360, and I remember just, this is, oh my goodness, just straight bangers. Now let's get to the Xbox One. Dead Rising 3, Halo 4, Halo 5, Guardians, Halo Wars. That's a decent one. Okay, I'm gonna give y'all Titanfall though. I'm gonna give them Titanfall. I actually love Titanfall. A fire game, especially Titanfall 2, but we're talking about console exclusive. Sunset Overdrive, although it eventually got to the PlayStation, but back then that was a pretty good game. And then you got Forza's, which is can't get that wrong. And remember that nail in the coffin I mentioned earlier? So yeah, honestly, I honestly don't want to continue talking about some of these Xbox One games, and definitely don't want to go over the Series X and S. Granted, the Series X and S games are a lot better than its previous console, like the releases, but at what cost? More on that topic on another video. But honestly, man, you really had to be there. And I'm not on that gaming was better back in the day and gaming sucks now. Only half of that is true. I say all this to ask a question. The question, like I said at the beginning of the video, what will it take for me to buy an Xbox? And I think this is an important question to ask if you are in the business of selling a product. And I'm not sure the heads at Xbox really put any investment into analyzing this question. It's imperative to extract yourself from your own investment and look at it from the perspective of someone who could not care less about your product. Especially when you break down this question, it's really just asking, how can I increase the value of this product to make someone who is uninterested interested? Phil Spencer, shout out to that guy, stated almost 2 years ago
that if you just build great games, everything would turn around. It's just not true that if we go off and build great games, all of a sudden you're going to see console share shift.
He also said,
we lost the worst generation to lose in the Xbox One generation, where everybody built their digital library of games.
Now, I understand his analysis on this topic, but at the end of the day, that's just a loser way to think about things. Like, how can you think like this and move forward with the company? I might go a little bit deeper on my thoughts on that later, but I do agree that they lost the worst generation to lose. I do agree. Like I mean, how do you go from making one of the best consoles of all time to making one of the worst? The Ring of Death must have put this in their script. But anyway, how can you seriously come to the conclusion that producing great games isn't enough when you haven't even tried? You can literally see the moment Halo went down in quality alongside the Xbox brand. And it's like a sharp decline. You could literally, like, you walk off a cliff trying to follow the trend line. It's clearly like, hey, maybe we should like focus on this spot right here. And no, yeah, the announcement they made it at E3 saying, hey, like, you can't share games anymore. Yeah, of course that sucked, but be for real. Yeah, you lost some investors that day. You still had the momentum, and all of that was just shut down. And it's no coincidence. And honestly, you should, Xbox, probably start there. You know, the cliff. What happened? What's different? I don't know, man. Maybe quality. Now, I never really directly answered the title of this video, but context clues should give you a general direction of where I'm going with this. Like, make some quality games. When was the last time Xbox developed a must-play game? This is gonna make me cry, bro. I literally about to have tears in my eyes, bro. I'm not talking about cult games or whatever, bro. Legit, holy shit, I need to play this game right now as fast as possible. How can I get to this game? Just go back to the list of games from OG Xbox and 360 that I named earlier in this video or above on my script and tell me how many of them were bangers. Compare that to what we got from the last 15 years from Microsoft. 15 years. 15 years of just mid. It's crap. 15. It's just crazy. Now, and then when you compare it to the competition, just go grab some bangers from Nintendo and PlayStation and tell me what you see. Maybe you're biased. Maybe you just like the green box for some reason and you like whatever they do. Okay, get your head at your own and look at the games of the year nominees and compare to Xboxes. Or go look at Metacritic and see multiple people's thoughts on the same games. I'm not trying to say like, hey man, you might love every game Xbox ever created. I mean, that might be you, but it's obviously a problem if it's only you liking them games. Just trying to objectify this, man, for real. And Xbox hasn't even tried to make good games. They tried to connect. They tried turning it into a freaking TV. They tried alternate reality. Where is that, by the way? But they didn't make some actual heat. Another thing they need to do is stagger their PC releases. Okay, my bad. Look, I know. Trust me. I would hate if they ever reverted back. But that means I gotta buy the Xbox. And guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go buy it. I am all for PC games day and day, but I am not buying an Xbox if the game is also gonna release on the PC, especially since they are in last of this whole console race thing. Like, I might buy a PlayStation 6 just because I honestly do like the fact, or just having a console. Like, I could just plug that thing in and it works, and it's on a TV. There's a couch there. It's all ready for me. It's like a movie. Xbox, for me to buy an Xbox, a lot more needs to happen. There's just no reason for me to buy it, you know, as a PC gamer. But you wouldn't tell me if the new Gears or Halo or new IP they release, or even Call of Duty, was to release only on the Xbox. And you seeing clips float around on the internet of people dying of laughter, having fun, and you wouldn't try to buy the console just to play it? Dog, I literally bought an Xbox OG specifically for Halo. This kid walking in the PX or just this freaking Walmart for on-post army guys or whatever, just for the family of armies. That's what the PX is. And I see this kiosk and I see two people on a split screen driving a vehicle, and one is on a turret killing aliens. That moment has branded me for life. It has literally what changed my entire life output, because I saw that game and I wanted it to play it right then and there. And that game, or those games in that series, up from OG Halo to Halo 3. Halo Reach is cool, but I like Halo 3 the most. That it became my favorite game of all time. And I have supported Xbox up until like, I mean, look, I had an Xbox One. All right, I had the Xbox One X too. I'm just saying, bro, you would buy an Xbox if there's the only way to play a fire game. And maybe not in this economy right now. Eggs might be a little bit more important, but you would eventually get there. And Xbox going third party is really not doing anything for the console. This new handheld, bro, it's gonna flop. It's not gonna go. It's just not. And they might be like doing third party licensing of their brand. And I honestly predicted that when pretty much when Phil Spencer released that whole quote, that they're likely gonna start doing how Nvidia does their GPUs, where they license it out to third parties and have people sell it. And that's not a bad idea for what they're going for. But I don't know, man. They're just not the Xbox we grew up with. Not the Xbox people fell in love with. Not the Xbox that was winning the console race for like a couple years for real. And this would have been the perfect year for Xbox. It's like, hey, we straight up console, you know what I'm saying? Like we back to believing in our console. Because look what PlayStation's doing right now, bro. They literally trip and fail, and Xbox is helping them up. This is crazy. Anyways, good luck, Xbox. I just don't have a reason to buy you. I'm gonna buy your games. I'm just not gonna buy the console. I mean, like, it gotta do something crazy. You gonna turn it into a car? Honestly, nah, looking back at it, circling back to that Phil Spencer quote, this was when he said that, this was the start of the campaign they're in now, like with pushing everything to all of the consoles, all screens, Xbox everywhere. This is an Xbox, that's an Xbox. I truly don't think he believes this. His quote. What I actually think happened is that they spent billions to acquire Activision. And of course, Microsoft wants to see that ROI ASAP. They want to see that money in their pockets as soon as they spent it. And the quickest way to do that is to go third party and release your games to as many people as possible. If you cared about the console, you wouldn't be seeing releasing on PS5 on Xbox games. What you would be seeing is Xbox standing 10 toes down, making fun of these games as a service games PlayStation can't get off the ground because Xbox was literally the top multiplayer console for years. You would be seeing them making advertisements around that, investing in themselves, just like you should invest in yourself. And no, I don't have a sponsor after that quote. When you invest, typically sometimes you dip in the red. A bit more than others. Sometimes you might be like almost blood burgundy red, but you just got to hold. You got to hold that and believe in yourself. And honestly, you could be great. Xbox. It's like I'm talking to a child, teenager ready to go out on the football field. Xbox. You could have invested in the console. This was the best time to do it. But instead of investing in making good games and focusing on the console, you made a fridge and then started investing in things that are far from the tradition. Like I said earlier, the Kinect, alternate reality, TV, and now it's Game Pass. Game Pass is cool though. It's a double-edged sword in my opinion, but it's cool. I like Game Pass. Honestly, I haven't bought that many games this year. I'm broke. Eggs are crazy right now. Shout out to Game Pass. More on Game Pass later. Double-edged sword though. Anyways, thanks for watching. And as an OG fan of Xbox, it sucks to see the loser mentality we're seeing for the last 2 years, but I understand why this approach is what's going on right now instead of the other, such as like Nintendo and PlayStation, like revamping and hunkering down on just, hey man, we like the console. And shout out to them. I commend them on that. But shout out to Xbox too for at least staying in the game of some sort. You know, you're not Google Stadia. Until next time, peace.